Well, the clouds are gathering heavy, skies are turning gray. Gotta pack up the truck, there's no time to delay. Flashlights and batteries, water stashed in the back. Grab my boots and my gloves, we're ready for the track. The wind's howling fiercely, weatherman says it's near. Towns gathered in the church, you can feel the fear. Folks lean on each other in times of greatest need, but we're rugged and ready, we're born to proceed. We're getting prepared with GreyMan, holding our heads high and we stand. In the darkest of nights, we make our own light. We're getting prepared with GreyMan. Generators humming, food stocked to the brim. Radio crackles low, singing freedom's hymn. Keep a rifle close by, a knife in my boot. In a world gone wild, you can't be resolute. Got my family near me, we face it all as one. Built for survival till the job gets done. The storm may be vicious, but our spirit stands tough. We're country strong, and when it's rough, that's enough. We're getting prepared with GreyMan, holding our heads high and we stand. In the darkest of nights, we make our own light. We're getting prepared with GreyMan. Got my family near me, we face it all as one. Built for survival till the job gets done. The storm may be vicious, but our spirit stands tough. We're country strong, and when it's rough, that's enough. We're getting prepared with GreyMan, holding our heads high and we stand. In the darkest of nights, we make our own light. We're getting prepared with GreyMan. We're getting prepared with GreyMan.
All right, all right. Let me know if I'm 5x5, folks. Let me know if I'm 5x5. I appreciate it. Let me switch this over to comment section so I can read. All right. Hey, Allie, how you doing? JT, Miss Worm, Amazing Grandma, Jean A, Rocka Moss, Grit and Grace. Everybody says I'm coming in 5x5. Stuart, good to see you as well. All right. It's been a while. Cabin Girl, good to see you as well. I'll try to keep an eye on chat here. Stormy Kurtz is in the house. I was really wondering what you guys were going to think of that song, something I've been working on in the background for a bit. And I wanted an emergency preparedness song, folks. I just wanted an emergency preparedness song. And playing around with the computer, and that's what I came up with, getting prepared with GreyMan. Some folks may ask, Gray, I want that song. If you email me, I can send you a link, and if that's what you want to listen to on the drive to work, I can get it to you free. I'm not charging anybody for anything. I just thought it was great. Just like the song that I came up with, the gardening intro, I've just been playing around with stuff, folks. But it's really good to be back on the air, basically a live stream, and I'm pretty sure folks got a lot of questions. Let me see who else do we got in here. Sounds good here. Awesome. Great. RG71, good to see you. So I have a different setup that's going on. So if anything goes crazy and I'm looking weird different directions and whatnot, I'm going to try to make this work because I'm doing some work in the studio. moving things around a bit, just trying to get ready for YouTube. And what I mean by that is a lot of folks have asked, Ray, where in the heck have you been outside of the last video that I put out? And a lot of things have been happening, folks, in the background. But howdy from Eastern Washington State. Good to see you. Counting the days. Chillin' Dave 1, hello. I think GreyMan sounds a bit scratchy. I mean, it could be. Who knows? Maybe the volume is too high on this mic. Maybe I'm just screaming at the mic. I don't know. Good evening, all. Great intro. Thank you for the live. I appreciate that, Barbara. Audio is spotty. All right, so let me turn up. If I turn something up, I know it's going to be worse, folks. And you know, you figure I see what you're saying. I'm wondering how I'm gonna. There's no way to mute this. Is there an echo, or if I'm just choppy sound here too? See, you know, this is why I hate live streams. Not that I truly hate them, but because there's always an issue. Video, Wi-Fi, internet, audio, something. Oh God, let's see what we got here. Touch up my appearance. No, I don't care about my appearance. Echo cancellation. Automatically adjust mic volume. Here, everything looks good. Everything on here looks good, folks. I don't know. If I push anything else, I'm afraid I might mess things up. It seems like there's a mix of kind of sounds like you're snorkeling. That's great. I wonder if it's my mic. I don't know. I'm gonna try one thing, folks, and I don't know what's gonna happen. It won't end the live stream, but pull up my microphone app. So, and that being said, while I'm doing this, how is everybody out there? Are you guys still under ice and snow, or are you like here in Florida, which is rainy and soggy? All right, got that right. All looks good. Live meters, night mode. I don't know, folks. Mic closer? I can bring this mic right up to my mouth. Breaking up slightly. Maybe it's the internet connection. Shows the microphone is in use. Looks good. I'm looking around to see if I'm missing anything else, but I don't see anything. Good seeing you, brother. Frontier Prepper, good to see you, brother. Arizona drought. It was 59 up here, drizzling. 72 in Knoxville. Can't complain. I hear you there. Holy cow, it's GreyMan. Howdy. Sergeant Deacon, good to see you. It's warmer the last 2 days. Everything is melting for now. I guess it's a plus. You sound good to me. All right. Well, folks, song was okay. Probably the mic. I don't know. I give up on this, folks. Do we just want to run it and just deal with the weird sound and whatnot? I mean, I threw this live stream together probably within just a couple of minutes, folks. Not literally a couple of minutes, but an hour or so ago, whenever I first posted it, I was like, you know what? I need to go live. It's the end of the month. And I haven't talked to you folks or seen any of you guys on here other than the last video I did. Some of you guys watched it. And because it's a review video, and I know how folks feel about review videos, depending on what it is. Sometimes it grabs people's attention. Let me see here. JT says, GreyMan, Jan won't be on. Her husband passed away about a week ago. Oh my God. And this is the first time I'm hearing about it. I will have to reach out to her personally. My condolences to her. I know there was issues going on, and last time I had spoken to her via email or phone, I can't remember exactly how we contacted each other. It could be Thriving Sprout. It could be. Hosier Pioneer, yeah, man. The doctor says to do it. You got to do it sometimes. Keep it going. Smoke and mirrors with Fort Knox. I agree. There's a lot of stuff that's happened. I don't think I haven't done a live stream since the Christmas thing that I did with Rudy, which is December. So we're here at the end of February, folks. So let me kind of give you guys what's going on with Grey and YouTube, right? Yes, and please, folks, out there, if you can send prayers to Jan, she is such a great person. Uh, every time I think about losing my wife, just imagine you spend, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years with someone that you love, taken care of, you've shared so many times, memories, and just grandkids and everything that you could possibly think of. And then they're gone. And then you wake up the next day and you look over to this empty bed and there's no one there. And to me, that's heartbreaking. That's like that's like SHTF for me. You know what I mean? Because it's like my world has ended at that point. I couldn't imagine. Thank God I'm 13 years older than my wife. So most likely there'll be something that falls on her shoulders, which I do not wish, but you kind of feel my pain. I always want what's best for everyone around me versus for me. But yeah, God bless her and her family. And there's nothing that you can truly say to make things better, especially if you've been with someone a long time. But just being there for them and wishing them the best and praying for those folks. All right, I knew this was going to come up. I'm going to go ahead and address this now. A lot of people have been asking, does anybody know what's going on with Rudy? Does anybody happen to have an idea what's going on with Alaska Prepper? He's not been on YouTube, this, and this, and that. I'm pretty sure the rumor mill is a flying. I talk to Rudy, folks, on a regular basis. I just talked to him a few days ago, and I told him, I said, I'm probably going to do a live stream. Rudy, do you want me to say anything? And he basically said that right now there's a lot of things that are on pause. Health-wise, Rudy is doing just fine. I know that you talked about the surgery, and he's recovered. He's doing good. So health-wise, Rudy is doing A-okay. His personal life, he's just really busy, and he has so much on his plate right now. He's like almost where I was a couple of times through my journey on YouTube. He's just extremely busy and just doesn't have the time to get on here and do the things. Um, some people don't understand or may not grasp YouTube in general of like how much work and time it takes up and the amount of time that may take away from your family life or spending time doing this or your job. Like me, I actually have a 9 to 5 that I go to. I also have a bunch of side hustles. Of course, a lot of you guys know I did a freeze dried candy thing that's turned into a creature of its own. But he's okay, folks. When Rudy is ready, he'll probably drop either a community post, a video, or something like that. I will, if you guys ever have any questions, I will try to, get those answered for you. But there's only certain things I can say about someone else's life because that's their personal life. But in regards to is Rudy okay? Yes, he's okay. Let Jan know we're praying for her. That's awesome, Diana. I appreciate that. And Rudy had some surgery. If you watched his last live stream, he kind of went over that. And then I think he also talked about it in a video prior to that. Something with his colon, which that's public knowledge, so I can go ahead and say that. But like I said, he's just really busy. And that's as kind of far as I can go with it, unfortunately. So let's kind of bounce back to me a little bit. I guess I'm going to be a stand-in. But Rudy's an amazing person. God bless his heart, and he knows I'm there for him every step of the way. Not only as someone who works with him on YouTube, but as a close friend. Outside of that, folks, people have been wondering where I've been. I've been getting emails and stuff like that. When I put out that last video, I think it was last week, folks were like, "Hey, Gray, how are you? Where the heck have you been?" And I'm gonna kind of elaborate on that and kind of give you guys, since you guys are watching me live. I want to, and we're going to get into our topic tonight too. I don't want to kind of go away from the topic because a lot of people are who either may not have been on the channel or whatever and come across this video. They're going to be like, "What is this song and what is this 2.5 minute intro?" I'm not going to use that as an intro all the time. That was just something special for you guys as a coming back to YouTube thing. So here's what I mean about coming back to YouTube is I'm the minimum I'm going to try to do is a minimum of 1 video a week. It's going to be a live stream this week because I've gotten, like I said, caught my pants down per se with a lot of different things, and I'll get into that. I'd like to get at least 1 to 2 videos I'm really shooting for 2 videos a week. And I guess the bad news about that is I have a lot of stuff that I got to review. I owe these companies that I've decided to work with some review time. And being that I've kind of been in and out of YouTube for a bit since the holidays, I have to make that up. Now, for you folks out there that take the time and leave a comment and watch those review videos, I truly appreciate it. It means a lot. You don't have to buy anything. You never, never, never have to buy anything, folks, unless it's something that you absolutely need. Because money's always going to be tight. Unless you're rich and wealthy, then I guess, have at it. You know what I mean? But that being said, and for the live streams, I know this is not going to make everyone happy, but at the end of every month, I want to do a live stream. And basically, in the live streams, it's going to be about talking to you guys and saying hello and seeing what's going on. Maybe we'll touch on a few of the things that are happening in the world, if that's what you guys choose to do so. Or maybe we'll just, just catch up. That's what I want to do. So a couple of videos, hopefully a week, minimum one, and then at least one live stream a month, all for you folks. Especially the folks that have been following me for who knows how long. I think it's 4 years now almost, or roughly around there. That just out have a little bit of dose of gray in their life. I appreciate and love every single one of you folks out there. So, and most of the time my videos will drop on either Thursday through Saturday. I usually wait and kind of push it out towards the weekend. The algorithm per se seems to like it. Not that this happens a lot on my channel. I do want to mention one thing. From now, I mean, every time I do a live stream, so there's not going to be a bunch of them, but whenever I do a live stream and someone gives me a super thanks or a super chat, as well as any ad revenue, I'm going to start putting that to the side. And I want to do 2 specials this year. I want to do a Christmas in July video, and basically do a bunch of giveaways in July sometime. And then, of course, I want to follow up that in November, doing a Christmas giveaway for the holidays, for Christmas. So I want to do 2 specials for you folks out there. And as I'm working with these folks, these different companies and whatnot over the year, I'm going to be asking for little odds and ends. Like when they say, "Hey, Grey, can you do this video for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, can you send me another one?" I'm going to put it on a shelf and save it. So in culmination, I'll have a bunch of stuff to give away, plus the money that I get from YouTube, which is not much, but usually I pour it into the channel for other stuff, and charities and all these other things that I do behind the scenes. But we're going to use that to do some giveaways as well during those times. So something to look forward to. And who knows, maybe I might do a pop-up live stream here and there because the company wants me to do a special and give some stuff away as well. All right, so that being said, I am rich and wealthy, but I have no money. Sergeant Deacon, I understand that, brother. All right, no pants on the ground, Grey. Just kidding. All right, please support Grey by hitting the thanks button. I appreciate that. That is very helpful, JT. Good to see you. Is Yarn happen to be here? I should have messaged Yarn and told her I was going live. I see Miss Worm and JT is here. South Florida DCL will probably tell me that he didn't get a notification, and I'm assuming a lot of folks will not get notifications. That will be probably the biggest comment or email that I will get. "Hey, Grey, I did not get the notification for your live stream." I apologize. YouTube does what it does, folks, and there's nothing I can do. I put something in the community tab, and I put something over in, this thing, where it notifies half hour before I start. It'll let you know I'm live. I am finally putting the finishing touches on a website. That website will have stuff that's happening. It will have recipes. It's going to have just GreyMan news, what's going on in my life, personal stories, history, links to videos, a schedule, kind of like a schedule to let you know, hey, Grey is going live. People can subscribe. I want to do a newsletter, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. And probably next month, I will let you guys know how this website thing is going to work. I've owned GreyManPrepping.com for 4 years now and never used it. And I decided to apply it to something because I get a lot of questions on gear. I get a lot of questions on notifications. I get a lot of questions on, recipes and stuff like that. So book recommendations and stuff like that. So I also want to kind of build in a forum that other people could just leave it. hey, Gray, how you been, kind of thing like that. So it's something in the works. It's just going to cost me about $1,000 to get it all hemmed up the way I want it to. So I've been slowly putting money around to get that squared away. Um, just part of YouTube and part of what I enjoy doing here on the channel. It's not called ScrewTube for nothing. I agree, Nostradam. Nostradamus on StreamYard, it blocks out the ASS. That's funny. GreyMan, our Yarny chum, you should check. Let me see. Yarny chum, you should check the mod email. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Worm. I haven't been on email. I've been so busy with so much stuff, but thank you, Miss Worm. I will check all that out. I found it only by scrolling. Hoser Pioneer, I guess you got lucky. Oh, wow. Okay. I think, you know what? I think I might have read that email and I'm just forgetting because I'm an old man. And I think she said she was going to be absent for a while off YouTube. I'll reach out to Yarn. I have many ways to get to her, not just email. I'll reach out to her personally. All right, so let's kind of let's get into this, right? We're 22 minutes of just rambling. I can only imagine the comments that are like, "What was this? The end is near." You know, there's nothing talking about the end is near. You're just rambling about all kinds of stuff. Well, if they knew the channel, they would know that Gray just continues to ramble on. So in the description of this live stream, it says, "So the end is near." Well, so they say. What is considered the end? And I put that TEOTWAWKI, and what it means: the end of the world as you know it. It can be a catastrophic event, harsh survival situation or condition, a change in the mindset, or economy. Even religious standpoints, the second coming of Christ sometimes is considered uh, in the end of called the rapture. From an extreme event like financial collapse, world starvation, a vicious pandemic, some for even the loss of a job can truly mean the end of the world as they know it. And this could be life changing as everything someone is accustomed to will change. So, is it the end? You know, is the end near? For some folks, the end is near, and some folks, the end is not. And what I mean by that is a lot of people will tell you, the world is ending tomorrow. Well, we're still here usually when we hear those kind of things, be it the news. The news will tell you all kinds of stuff. How many of you guys have been freaking out about the asteroid? I think, what is it, in 2030, December 22nd, 2030, 2032, something like that? It's like 6 or 7 years from now. There's an asteroid headed to Earth. It was at 1.7% chance. Now it's 1.9, 2.2. I think it's up to 2.7 now. As the closer it gets, it's a city killer. If it actually hits, and if it's the planet, you know, depending on where it hits. If it hits off the coast of Florida, you know, we'll get a nice huge monster tsunami that would destroy lots of things. If it hits a city like New York, that's a catastrophic event. We'll see. I'm pretty sure there'll be millions of YouTube videos leading up to December 22nd on D-Day, as they say it. At least that's what NASA is saying in regards to this asteroid. But let's kind of take a look at things closer to home, at home right now. I mean, how many of you guys CA Baron, I don't know. Rudy is kind of on a personal hiatus at the moment. Sorry, I just seen that. Yeah, Sergeant Deacon, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, man. Life actually has my attention as well. My question to you folks is, how many of you folks are struggling to have eggs? Have you seen the supply chain disruption in your local grocery stores? Have you seen the cost of eggs go up? You know, are you guys? Do you guys have chickens? You know, like what's going on in your neck of the woods? I like to do this every once in a while to see how the rest of the United States is doing with this crisis. And of course, liberal media will blame number 47, even though it has nothing to do with him. It has all to do with the bird flu and all this other stuff that happened way before that person was even elected. But you know, that's what legacy media does, is it just has to find someone to lay the blame onto, right? Miss Worm, yeah, that could be. If it did hit the moon, it would be pretty bad. Hey, William Pence, how you doing? It kind of comes naturally, if you know what I mean. I'm just checking to make sure I'm not missing anything. I just went out of focus too. See, I think my camera lens is dirty. It's probably have dust on it and whatnot because I haven't been on here so long. Oh man, I got to clean up my act. I'm supposed to be a professional here, right? A professional YouTube guy. I should be very professional. I should have clean audio, good camera quality. I should have all this stuff under my wraps. But I don't know. I know most folks don't have the capabilities that some of us others do. Um, I can understand that, Akita. Good to see you. I'm in Denver now. Eggs are starting to come down. 19.99 for 60 at Sam's. That's not horribly wrong or horribly bad. I went to Publix. Nostradamus wrote, I went to Publix. I guess we can start posting this stuff up here, right? There we go. I went to Publix, no eggs. Went to Kroger, no eggs. Went to Sam's Club, $4 a dozen, limit 2. All right. Let me see. RG40, RG6. I have 4 chickens. So glad eggs are expensive. The reason I wanted to touch on eggs is a couple of reasons because I personally have ran into a couple of situations myself where Publix here locally, Publix is a southern store, I think. They have limited eggs, and the other biggest issue with it is the eggs suck. Uh, all they have is crappy eggs. They have like the really cheap, crappy eggs. You know what I mean? It's not like they have the good eggs. All the good eggs are either anywhere from $7 to $14 a dozen. A dozen. I'm like, there's no way in heck I'm paying for that. So I talked to my guys here locally that have farms that where I usually get my eggs at, and asked them what's going on. And I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. So here's what he said to me. He said, I wish I could have recorded him. Basically, he said every 3 years he has to get new chickens because they either slow down tremendously or don't lay eggs anymore. So he is trying to get new chicks to get new stock of chickens in to get, to produce more eggs on his farm. But the supplier of the chickens said, sorry, guy, I'm going to have to put you on a waiting list. And he said, well, how long is the waiting list? He said, well, we're kind of looking at a year. And when he told me that, I was like, a year to get chickens or chicks to grow into hens to lay eggs. But so we as people, us folks that are emergent, us folks that are preppers, let's just put it simple. Us folks that are preppers, we find ways around stuff like that. Maybe we do stuff like nutrient survival eggs. Maybe some of you guys have stocked up on that. Shameless plug. Click the link down in the description. But some people do that. A lot of you guys know that I'm gonna do a video on this because I found some tricks to freeze drying eggs. So I keep this by the stove now. You can probably, I think, how many is it? I forget how many dozens of eggs I can put in here. So I freeze dried my eggs, and now I stored them. I keep this one next to the oven because it's basically if I do 1 cup of eggs or 1 cup of water, mix it up, and I have scrambled eggs. It's just like real eggs, but they're from the farm. So I buy a lot of eggs from the farm, which unfortunately is going to have to slow down because he's going to have to raise his prices. So I started freeze drying my own eggs, and I realized how cost effective this is of freeze drying eggs. So I'm going to do a video on freeze drying eggs, and I found some ways, some tips and tricks for those folks that do have a freeze dryer that might help. Because the first couple of times I freeze dry eggs, I made a big mess and lost some eggs. Borrow a rooster. And Tom, it's funny that you mentioned that because I asked him the same question. I said, hey, Glenn, do you have any roosters? And he's like, I tried. He said, I've just never had luck with the roosters. And I was like, oh. I said, my buddy in Alaska, he's had pretty good luck with his rooster and his hens so far. But I've talked to there's like 5 or 6 chicken farms within a 5-mile radius of where I live. And I've gotten to know these people really good. And I had conversations with them. And a lot of them are kind of in the same situation in regards to the whole egg apocalypse. That's what you want to call it. And I don't want to sound, what's the word I want to, I don't want to sound like I'm trying to gloat or I'm trying to, be that guy, if that makes any sense. So I took inventory of how many eggs I have between nutrient survival and the eggs I'm freeze drying, and it's by weight. I can't really break it down by dozen. But it's probably about 72 pounds. I have about 72 pounds of eggs. And I focus on eggs a lot because I'm huge. I love eggs. It's just something that I eat eggs all the time. Maybe some people hate eggs. I don't know. So prep. That's one of my hyper focus points is prepping eggs. And with the freeze dryer, I don't let it stop. So if I'm not freeze drying eggs, I'm freeze drying meat, I'm freeze drying pork, I'm freeze drying chicken, I'm freeze drying something, candy. Spend a whole day freeze drying candy for festivals and markets. And I don't want to do online. I don't have the time to do online. I've been unsuccessful with several approaches with a friend about going in on a freeze dryer. Maybe that's a good thing. Let me see. I've been unsuccessful. Akita, honestly, a freeze dryer has changed my life in the way I store foods. I've been taking my numbers down for the last, I think, 6 months now. I think that's how long it's been. And I've paid for the freeze dryer like 3 times now. The amount of money that I've saved of not buying Augustin Farms, of not buying NutriStore, of not buying any freeze-dried food online, because usually they'll charge you 60 to 70 to $80 for a can of freeze-dried meat. It's not seasoned half the time. It doesn't have much flavor. I'm a Cuban. I know most of you guys know that I'm Cuban, so I freeze dry. It's called picadillo, so it's a seasoned ground beef. So that when I rehydrate the ground beef, it tastes amazing. Now, don't get me wrong, buying freeze dried, if that's the only way you have it, you're still going to spend 70, $80, somewhere around there, unless you get it on a discount with the freeze dried meats. But you're going to spice it up, turn it into some chili or, something that's going to work for you. But I've saved a ton of cash. Freeze dryers aren't cheap. I do understand that. And they're always having a sale. I think Harvest Right always has a sale. And there's another company out there that I forget the name of it, but they make a freeze dryer as well. Um, I don't know. I'm not telling everybody to run out and get a freeze dryer, but they just come in handy. They really do, at least from my perspective. Like I said, everything is always based on opinion. When it comes to emergency preparedness, people don't get that. Like, hey, you have night vision goggles, or hey, you have a thermal monocular. Hey, you have a 308 rifle. Hey, you have a solar generator. You have this. I don't need all of that. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I like it, but that's just my personal opinion. I think everyone should be entitled to what prepper or prepping is to them. We should never ever give anybody crap about the way they prep. You know what I mean? Maybe you want to give them some constructive criticism or tips and tricks on, hey, you can do this better. That 95-pound, backpack that you had there for an emergency is probably not going to work for you, being that you're 138 pounds and have probably never put it on and walked more than 2 feet with it. Crap like that, might give, just give them some constructive criticism. But I'm never going to knock anybody because at least they're trying. You figure majority of the population doesn't even try. So at least that's the way I look at it. Jill and Dave coming in with some good, this is what I like about the community is that you guys are always dropping comments to help others. And that's what makes this whole thing go around, makes the whole reason why I love YouTube is because we're a community, folks. And by sharing and praying and helping and giving advice and just everything that we do, it's just sending out a lot of positive stuff out into the world. Just the way I look at it. Dehydrated eggs. Oh man, it's funny. I wish I could have like a taste test for folks. If you take when I take the farm fresh eggs and I freeze dry them, not dehydrate them, freeze dry them, which retains 95% roughly of their nutritional value, and then I reconstitute them. I've done this with friends. They can't tell the difference. They cannot tell the difference. Now, if I go get some Augustin's Farms eggs and I rehydrate them, they can tell the difference. It has a weird taste to it. I don't know what they add. Mine are just plain eggs, just farm fresh eggs from the farm to my house. I scramble them, freeze dry them, and package them. But then I keep some next to the stove because I use eggs. I've probably been talking about eggs probably way too much at this point. Diana, too, the technology with freeze dryers is getting better and better and better, and they're more affordable. And yes, the competition, as the competition gets there, freeze dryers will become a lot more affordable. Um, I hope that I touched on the end, the kind of like the title of this video enough. Because I really wanted to, I didn't really know what I was going to talk about, folks. I had some general ideas, but I was going to play off you guys. I don't like to really script things too much. You know what I mean? I feel it's too, I don't want to say fake, but I don't know. I feel as a YouTube personality, I think that you should be yourself, and just whatever comes out of the mouth comes out of the mouth. You know what I mean? People are always correcting me that I say this wrong or I do this wrong or that wrong. I'm like, hey man, I'm only human. We're all God's creatures, right? John Morrison, good to see you. I'm trying to back up here to see what I can see here. And you know, it's funny. I figured this was probably maybe the smallest live stream I've ever done. Because I figured since I haven't done one, YouTube's not going to notify anybody. I've seen the numbers fluctuate anywhere from 75 to 80 up to 100, kind of bouncing around. You know, people cruising across YouTube and they're like, "Who's this guy? I thought he was talking about the apocalypse. The world is ending tomorrow." Nope, that's not what I'm talking about, man. I'm just talking about good times, good things, and just some ideas. I appreciate that, Tom. Hey, Tammy, good to see you. Touche, touche. Um, so I really didn't have like a specific mindset of what we're doing here, other than I did get some coffee. I did want to talk about eggs. As I'm looking at myself on, you know, it's really weird looking at yourself on YouTube here. I'm looking at my shirt, my collar's all messed up, my hat's probably crooked. I don't even know. I'm a mess, folks. I'm a mess. But I wanted to come on here and just let you guys know I am alive and I'm not quitting YouTube. I know I put out that video a while back saying, should I continue YouTube? A lot of you guys are very positive on that. All I have to do is really do some time management. And I'm going to tell you a personal story right now for those who care. Um, Last year I gained 20 pounds and I am not happy. Not happy at all. I look in the mirror and I told myself, Gray, this is not you. So for the past 2 weeks, I'm in a long journey here, folks. In the past 2 weeks, uh, I've been at it. I've been extremely active. Been walking. I forget. I don't know. Do I have my phone here? Hold on. 1 second, folks. Yeah. So I've been averaging about 10.7 miles a day, just walking. So that takes up about 2 hours, 2.5 hours of my day. Um, After I do this for 30 days to get reacclimated for this kind of extreme activity, it's not really extreme. I'm not like pumping weights and doing crazy stuff. But I talked to a nutritionist. I talked to a few doctors, explained, hey, I'm 50 years old now. What do you suggest? And I went down this rabbit hole of walking and how beneficial walking can be for the human being. Because back in the day, that's everybody did is walk. In Japan, all they do is walk, and they live long, and they get to eat carbs like rice. Not fully, but you know what you get what I'm going with this, right? Um, so I restructured my diet, uh, where I'm just eating more wholesome. I'm cooking everything at home, not going out, not ordering crap, just cleaning up that part of it, becoming more active, and then I was gonna wear my get home bag, but then I gotta take it in and out of the vehicle. So I just put on my bulletproof vest. That's what I want to call it, plate carrier, technical term, on it, and get on the treadmill. And yes, I'm one of those weird people that have a treadmill at home. And I get on the treadmill and just start rolling. And I'll put my favorite show on, and which is probably like The Walking Dead or something. And I'm walking around in shorts with a Kevlar vest on with armor plates in it, because it adds about anywhere from 12 to 15 pounds. I could cheat and I could use the Kevlar plates, or not Kevlar. What are they called? Whatever they're called, the lighter ones. I don't even want to get into the technical term before someone rips me apart. Like, it's this type of material and it stops this type of round. I don't care. Not, I'm using it to add weight to my body to help me burn more calories. Baby, thank you. I appreciate that. DH, it is. And I'm going to be frank with you folks. I'm a bit OCD. When I start anything, I always, the phone tells me, the app on the phone says, "Hey, you reached your goal today, Gray." And I'm like, well, I'm going to beat that goal. So then I go longer and I go longer, and the goal keeps on getting higher. You guys use step counters? I have one of those. It's kind of built into my little Garmin watch here. And it said I walked like 19,000 steps one day because I was out in the woods, which is one of my favorite places to be. And I'm walking all over the place. And then I got home and did like an hour or so on the treadmill. And then I went for a walk with the wife later that evening around 9 o'clock, because it was just great weather, cool weather out. And I didn't realize it. I was like, but the more the older we get, folks, the more active you probably want to be. You know what I mean? There's the cool dudes, really, really cool dudes, high speed cool dudes on YouTube. I'll tell you, if you're fat, if there's a SHTF, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. Well, so be it. If that's the case. But you know what? I'm gonna give it my damnedest. But those are the cool dudes. I guess I'll never be a cool dude, even though I got the cool gear, right? But gear is nothing. Gear is nothing without training, and getting expertise with that gear. I always think you can have all the gear in the world. You can have the best gun, the best, scope, the whole shebang. You can have the best of the best. You can be a billionaire with all the great stuff. But if you don't know how to use it and you don't train with it, you're probably gonna it's not gonna work for you. Not to be a Debbie Downer, as they call it, I think. Me and the wife's anniversary just passed. Some of you folks were aware. I think I posted it on my Instagram. And so for the wife's and I anniversary, we decided to do like 5 or 6 days of anniversary, not just one day anymore. We went horseback riding. Did some primitive camping. I posted a couple pictures on Instagram. We went to the gun range. I want her to be more proficient and comfortable with the firearm in her hand and on her person, and how to use it like it's just like part of her body. Something I do all the time. So I felt I need to involve the family more and get them proficient. Next is my daughter. She'll be the next one. Once I finish with the wife, which she has picked up things really good and she really enjoys going out shooting. Right now we're in the handgun section, and then we'll move into the rifle section and so on and so forth. And then we'll start doing more running and gunning, kind of moving with the firearm. Once she gets her form and discipline all down perfect, and I think she's ready for the next step, we'll take her to the next step and then move there, move there, move there. I got a lot of good friends in law enforcement and other places, military, that kind of, work with me. But I've taught people stuff like this in the past for years. So it's kind of like second nature for me. Tom Larson, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's we're going on 19 years now. Yeah, 19 years together. Yeah, that's a long time. Long time. She's a good woman. I love her to death. She is a good woman. And she's in the same mindset as I am. So she's always, hey, hey babe, what are we gardening today? What kind of food are we prepping today? What's the goal for today? What are we doing today that's going to take us a step closer to our goals? Because me and the wife's goals is property. But everywhere we look in my area, it's ridiculously priced. It's starting to go down. So the money that we're saving for property, we just kind of put it to the side and forget about it. So if a property happens to present itself, we have that money put away and we can jump on it. But, until that time comes, we'll be in this house that we're in now, and then we'll sell it and move on to, I just don't want to be so old where I can't do things. You know what I mean? Nostradamus, I get that. I used to be the same way. I used to be the same way. Thanks, Diana. Marilyn, good to see you. Thank you, Akita Love. DH, I mean, I think that's where a lot of people miss these days, is not including your family, not including your wife, your husband, even your grandparents, uncles, dads, including them into some of the day-to-day things. You know what I mean? A lot of people say it's really hard to get my sister on board with prepping because she just doesn't this or doesn't that. Take her out camping. Put her to the test and see what happens. Say, hey, don't even tell her it's like a test. Just say, or her or him, and say, hey, let's go on a camping trip. But when she shows up to the camp trip, hey, don't bring anything. I'll bring everything. You're good. Just bring like a tarp and some, a couple of odds and ends, a ferrocerium rod and stuff, and say, hey, no, we're primitive camping. We're not glamping. We're going to do some primitive camping, and see how that works out for a couple of days, and kind of say this is what it would be like in a worst case scenario. I mean, when we think about the folks out in North Carolina, uh, just 6 or 7 months ago, when the cold temperatures came in, when winter started, some of these people were living in like just really bad shelters, and I was really worried about it. And I was talking to a friend of mine that's from the area, and until just recently, things started kind of getting put together and stuff like that. Uh, and like I said, it's that old saying is you cannot depend on the government. You cannot ever depend on the government for anything. You think you can, and you wish you can, um, and sometimes they help a little bit, but it seems like the majority of the time they do not help. Sometimes they make things a lot worse. All right, where are we at? Tristan, good to see you. A cold prepper. A cold prepper that okay, so for everybody watching tonight, uh, if you go down in the description, all my contact info is down below. My P.O Box. If you want to send me a birthday card or a Hello Gray card, the P.O Box is down in the description. The email is down in the description, and all social media links are down in the description. For the folks that have Instagram, if you have Instagram, a lot of people have personally reached out to me on Instagram. I don't have a huge following on Instagram, so when someone messages me on Instagram, I can easily, hey, and talk to them. That's how I talk to Yarn sometimes, is via Instagram and some of the other folks. I think Stuart's always on Instagram and liking my stuff that I post. I appreciate that, Stuart, as well as some of the other folks out there that follow the Instagram, because that could be a bit more personal on there. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of how I wanted to tie that up. But yeah, anything that you guys can ever think of on every single video, every single live stream, down in the description, just scroll down and you'll find my info, my email, my P.O. Box, socials, all that kind of stuff like that. And I'm not active on a lot of them. I'm active on X. I'm active on Instagram, YouTube, and my email. Um, I felt bad. I hadn't go to my P.O. Box for a while, and I went over to the P.O. Box and I found old Christmas cards, and I was like, "Crap! I wish I would have." I don't know why I didn't check it, but I got Christmas cards, and I wanted to say thank you to those people. There was 2 of them in there. I was very sad that I hope they didn't think that I forgot about them. You know what I mean? That's just how I think. I always want to say thank you for anybody that takes the time to write a letter or send a card or anything like that. I always want to say thank you, and reach out to them just like because it's appreciative. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to send you a card or anything like that. So, hey, Forrest, good to see you. Peter Rouse, so live streams, well, not live streams. Well, yeah, they are ads and live streams these days. YouTube has this new thing where every 24 minutes it'll send an ad, hopefully a skippable ad, that you can skip through, and it'll do it 2 to 3 times within the hour, but it sends it to different people at different times. So you might get an ad, and the other person won't get an ad. It's a way to monetize your thing. It helps me for I'll probably make like 12 cents off this live stream, and it helps me pay the bills. Yes, I did cover that for us. forcing ads on Patreon videos too. I heard Nostradamus. I heard about that, folks. There's no way around it. I'm one of those people that bought YouTube Premium. I think it is. I think it's like $3, $4. I don't know what the heck I pay for it because I don't like to watch ads. But even though I have YouTube Premium and I watch YouTube content, those folks still get a cut of the YouTube Premium. So they're still getting a piece of the pie, the creators that put the hours into the video that I'm watching. I watch a lot of garden videos. Don't watch too much prepping videos, not too much news videos, mostly gardening, freeze drying, canning, food storage, anything that I have a question about. I do watch gear reviews, things that I'm interested in. Like I wanted a new everyday carry knife, so I went out and bought it's called the Paramilitary 2 by Spyderco. I freaking love that knife. Like one of the best knives for EDC carry. I love the damn thing. And maybe I can do a video on it, but most people are not going to pay what I paid for that knife. I had money put away, the gray fund, as wife likes to call it. And I said, babe, I really want that knife. I also really want that gun, but the knife is cheaper. So I got the knife. Yeah, Sharon. And I wish there was, I mean, if I turn it all off, YouTube would not recommend the channel at all. If you're monetized and you don't put ads on your channel, YouTube's not going to recommend you because they're not going to make anything off you. So unfortunately, it's like the devil. You got to play devil's advocate. You know what I mean? I'm watching a video sometimes. I'll be honest with you. I've watched a video at work, and it's literally a 1-minute ad that I can't skip. 1-minute ad that I can't skip on a video that I'm watching. And sometimes I get angry and I just turn off the video, which I feel bad for because then I go back and watch the video because I feel bad because it's not the content creator's fault. It's YouTube. YouTube put the ad for a minute that I couldn't skip. At least that's what I think. Because most ads are like anywhere from 5 to 30 seconds and you can skip a few seconds into it. I don't know. Start farms, grow gardens. I agree. 100%. I tell everybody, even if you live in a friggin' apartment, try to grow a garden. Go indoors. Matter of fact, folks, next week I'm going to be putting out a video. It's a new series that I'm working on the channel. It's going to be indoor gardening, microgreens, as well as other things. I'm building it. It's right over there. I'm looking at it. I've recorded some of the video for this video. Recorded some of the footage for this video. I had such success with growing Everglades tomatoes from seed that now I got the growing indoors bug. So I'm going to be doing these grow lights and this whole setup over there in the corner, and I'm going to share that journey with you folks. Maybe you like the lights I use. Maybe you like the shelf that I got. Maybe you like the way I'm going to set it up. I don't know. Hopefully you guys will watch it and watch their progress because Florida's about to hit summer. It's going to be like 100 degrees outside. The bugs are going to eat everything. It's nasty to grow in Florida in the summertime, other than like certain things. Like the Everglades tomatoes, which I'm hoping for this year, peppers, sweet potatoes, but you're not growing broccoli. You're not growing lettuce. There's a lot of things you cannot grow. So I thought, well, if I grow it inside in a controlled environment, I could grow year round. It's a fallback. And I'm going to rig it, the whole system, to a power station. So if the power goes out, those plants still have a way to survive, even in here. It's just an idea I come up with, and I'm just going to share that with you guys. Maybe you guys will get a kick out of it. Maybe not. Maybe it'll get 10 views. I don't know. E files out tomorrow. Grow microgreens. Yeah, of course. I want to. I've heard a lot of good things about microgreens, how healthy they are. The wife really has been wanting to get into this as well, and I finally, decided to get into that. I grow romaine from the bottoms, just cut about ½ inch from the bottom and put it in water. I get free meal every couple of weeks from 6 heads. That's awesome. There's a bug on my computer or a fly or something. Florida. One thing that was very surprising that I grew this year that we got to harvest again on Sunday is the kale. We've chopped this kale down like 5 times now. I have a freezer full of kale. freezer full of kale, because we've harvested the kale, and harvested the kale, and it just keeps on growing back. I told her, I said, until it dies off, we'll just keep on growing it. Let the plant do what the plants do. Kale is very nutritious. Some people may hate it. I mix mine up. I'll put it in the stews. I'll put it in my eggs. Sometimes I'll put it on a sandwich. I don't know, but it works. It's a very nutritious thing to grow compared to, like, what is it, iceberg lettuce that has basically almost no nutritional value. I appreciate that, Seabass. Just got an ad in Spanish. All right. We're moving up in the world. Gray's getting ads in Spanish now. When is the Tilted Prepper going to be coming back on YouTube? I don't know. Good question. Here's one thing that shocked me. Do any of you guys know who Demolition Ranch is? I'm gonna let that sit for a second. Do any of you guys know who Demolition Ranch is? Maryland, that's what I'm working on too. Kale chips, a very healthy, snackable chip. Not the potatoes, not the whatever vegetable, all that kind of crap like that. But yeah, kale chips. I want to dust them with a little bit of a sprinkle of lime and Parmesan. It just sounds good to me. All right, so some of you guys have gotten Jeff. I feel you, brother. I had a feeling that a lot of folks weren't going to get notifications, but you'll have to rewatch it because you'll like the first 2 minutes. So anyways, Demolition Ranch was probably one of the largest, most popular gun channels on YouTube. Huge, million subscribers. And he had 3 channels. He put out a video a few weeks ago and says, hey guys, I'm literally quitting YouTube. And I watched that video. You can tell he was heartfelt. He was like, look, my kids are starting to grow up. I want to spend time with my family. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into YouTube over the last 15 or 18 years he's been doing it. And he's very successful at it. I'm pretty sure he made a ton of money off YouTube and merch and deals and all stuff like that. And he's hanging up the reins, folks. So it goes to show, excuse me, that sometimes YouTube can be too much for some folks. You know what I mean? Because once it turns into a job, sometimes it's like that nagging thing in the back of your head. You got to do a video. You got to do a video. You know what I mean? And you got to make your people happy and whatnot. Because the people that watch you sometimes expect certain things out of you. Like, why aren't you putting out a video? Why aren't you doing a live stream? What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? But anyways, yeah, I was very shocked, and he was sad because he had a full staff, and he has to slowly try to find positions for these people. He's selling all of his property and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting to watch that video. A person that's successful, that's actually he's done with YouTube. Past the rabbits this year, yeah. Jose Pioneer, why don't you have you tried any fencing or anything like that, like chicken wire? You maybe you dig a trench around your area. I know a lot of you guys are starting gardening because spring is starting to move in for you folks. I've been in spring for months. I've been gardening all year. But have you thought about going down about 6 or 7 inches or so and putting in like some chicken wire around that so they can dig under and go a few feet up and kind of surround that? Maybe that would prevent some of the rabbits from getting in there. Luckily, I usually deal with just bugs. Bugs. Not too many things. A few birds every once in a while, but they're usually there to pick off the bugs, like the little green worms or tomato worms and all that other crap. They're usually there. That aphids, crap like that. That's usually my biggest issue. Luckily, I don't have to deal with too much wildlife. Because if I was out in the wilderness and growing my garden and a deer comes in to eat my food, well, I'm going, unfortunately, I'm going to take that deer for myself and process the deer and take the meat. If it's a pig, I'm taking the pig. If it's a rabbit, I'm taking the rabbit. Squirrel, whatever it is, I'm going to put that in the freezer. But that's just the way I'd look at it. So mess with my garden, you're going in the freezer. You see, why are all the good prepper channels been having health issues? Jacob, I've heard about that as well. It's not only prepper channels. I watch homesteading channels, gardening channels, gear review channels, camping channels, hiking channels, overlanding, and there's health issues all over the place. People are getting older. Weird stuff's been happening, and here, let me tell you guys a little thing. Currently, my stepmother, we're not close. We have a checkered past. I'm not really my father's wife. She's been in the hospital for about 3 weeks. Something with respiratory. She went in for an infection, respiratory, and she found out she's a respiratory. She was on a respirator for like 3 weeks. They just did a surgery on her neck. Now she's being transferred to a facility that deals with, I think, respiratory illnesses themselves. She might be there for 2 to 3 months. Like I said, I don't ever want to say anything bad about anybody, but she is a heavy drinker and she's a heavy smoker, and she's 67 years old. When you put that much abuse on you, the older you get, and you've been doing it your whole life, stuff catches up to you. Luckily, I've never been a drinker, or never been a smoker. I've been an eater, like to eat. I'm a big boy. That's my, I guess that's my little downfall. People on YouTube have told me, "Hey, fat boy, what are you doing? You don't know nothing." I've been called fat and all kinds of weird stuff on YouTube. But I'm thick-skinned. Nothing bothers me. I can care less what anybody thinks about me. Just what my wife thinks about me. In case she watches this, you know what I mean? JT says, I'm ancient. The governments are poisoning. And Peter Rouse, I really honestly believe, this is my personal belief. I'm not trying to push anything on anybody, but I do feel that the government in itself, our food system is corrupt. Our medical system is corrupt. But our food is probably, since they created the food pyramid, I'm one of those weirdos that watch food documentaries. Some of them may be liberal biased food documentaries, but I dig into them and then I follow it with my own research, and I come full circle by looking at this stuff. And our food, it's all about money. It's not about nutrition. It's not about health. It's not about the quality of food. It's about subsidies. It's about pouring as much corn syrup and nasty stuff into foods. Even Canada. Go buy a bottle of ketchup in Canada and buy a bottle of ketchup here. One Heinz, same brand, Heinz and Heinz. Look at our ketchup. It says corn syrup, maltodextrin, all this crap. And then the ketchup you buy in Canada, it just says tomatoes, vinegar, salt, blah, blah, blah. Why is that? Money, corruption, greed. Don't take my word for it. Follow the money. It is what it is. Thank you. I appreciate that, Sherry. Chemtrails, a patient cured is a customer lost. Absolutely, Forrest. That's awesome, JT. That is awesome. But anyways, I know that we're here an hour, and I know people are probably like, Gray, can you shut up now? You've been here for an hour. You've talked. You've rambled long enough, Gray. Wrap this crap up. Funny enough, when I get off here, I do got to go. I got to go put another couple miles in, folks. I have a little route around the neighborhood that equates to 1.98 miles. It's close enough to 2 miles. But I'm feeling a lot better. I've been taking my vitals, looking at my weight, and everything is going in a positive direction. From my BMI to the visceral fat to my cardiovascular health to my resting heart rate, everything is moving in a positive direction. So what I'm doing must be working. And I'm going to keep at it. I want to be with you guys as long as I possibly can, right? I'm 90 years old. And I've been prepping since I was 28. And I want to give you my honest opinion. I want to be that old guy on here that hopefully, it's going to suck because some of the people will lose people along the way, but I'd love to be 90 years old, still on YouTube with all of you. I think that would be fantastic. Just to be in the community that long and still kicking to do YouTube. Might look like crap. Who knows? but we'll give it a shot, folks. You know, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to keep on doing YouTube. I enjoy it. Sometimes it could be a headache doing the reviews, but hey, that's just part of life. You know, part of life. And you can't let it get you down. Stand strong. I appreciate that. Prepping diapers, yeah. Then we could do a review of prepping diapers. What are the best diapers to have as a prepper when you're 89 years old? These diapers will last you way longer than these diapers. And in the SHTF, if you don't have these diapers, your ass is grass. No. Oh man, I love that. Thanks for the suggestion. I appreciate it, Kano. Oh, you guys are hilarious, folks. You know, you gotta be you gotta have a positive outlook, folks. World may give you just lemons and lemons and lemons and lemons, but you gotta have just a little bit of positivity out there and have a little bit of fun. Uh, because life is short, you know, and you gotta enjoy every single moment that you can, you know, every moment with your husband, your wife, your kids, your grandkids, every single moment you get an opportunity to spend with them should be precious because eventually it'll be gone. And I hate thinking about that. I love, you know, all the memories that I make with my friends and my family, my wife and kids. I love them. I love them. I can't wait to get some grandkids myself. So shockingly, I'm not a grandfather yet. Shockingly. Um, but you know, I just don't ever want to take anything for granted. We have a large hospital closing here near Cocoa Flores. With all the folks moving here, this one would be bad beds and halls. Wow, JT, interesting. I train 3 hours and 7 days a week at 55. The home gym should be at the top of your preps. Peter Rouse, I agree. I'm slowly building out a little area of a home gym. You know, the treadmill I had for a while, about a year, given to me, almost brand new. And I bought, you know, I didn't buy it. I really had an idea for it, but then, you know, life got me busy and I kind of put it to the side. But you figure I'm doing minimum 2 hours a day. That's my goal. Minimum 2 hours of, you know, hitting it for 2 hours. 7 days a week. I don't get cheat days. I'm not giving myself cheat days. I'm not stopping on any day. I'm continuously hitting it. So 14 hours, 2 hours minimum, 7 days a week, 14 hours, 14 hours a week. Um, I doubt I'll ever be, you know, military weight, you know, all cut up, 225, 6'1", hoorah, you know, just doing good. I doubt I'll ever get that back, but I'm damn sure gonna keep on trying. You know what I mean? Uh, Anything to help me stay kicking just a little bit longer. Um, Folks, I'm gonna go ahead and let me see here. I want to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to say thank you to every single one of you amazing people out there, folks. You're here listening to me ramble. I mean, we kind of touched on the topic for a short kind of bit of time, but I knew it probably wouldn't go far with it because we haven't been on a live stream in quite some time, and we were just going to talk. Well, ironically, I did most of the talking, right, or 99.9% of the talking, outside of reading a few comments here and there. Um, and it was great. You know, I love this this form of YouTube because I'm literally reading your guys' comments. Hoser Pioneer, I got to. I got to do my walk. And I got to prepare. I got to go to work tomorrow. I work for the next 3 or 4 days now. But I got to run. But remember, folks, I'm going to try to get at least starting March, which will, you know, this is kind of wrapping up the month for February. This live stream, we're going to try to do at least one live stream every month towards the end of the month, and we're going to probably try to put out at least 1 to 2 videos a week. A lot of them at the beginning, maybe review videos. I got to play catch up. So sorry, but I do appreciate your support if you watch them and drop a comment and like and all that yada 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 stuff. Just because it helps it push through the YouTube thing and whatnot. It just Very appreciative, and I thank you guys who do that. Even if you don't want it or you think it's a piece of crap, you don't like it, whatever, you don't need it, at least you left a comment. I've had people just leave a comment for the algo, Gray, and it's just appreciative. But folks, remember, folks, you are not alone, folks. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys on the rebound. God bless all you amazing, wonderful people out there. And if I missed anybody's comments or questions or anything like that, drop them down after the live stream ends, and you can leave a comment, and I'll try to address those for questions or whatnot. All right. Remember, all my socials and contact information is down in the description of every one of my videos. I think it's even on the description page of the YouTube. Anyways, love you guys. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your evening. This is GreyMan, and I'm out.